bringing to you. Every time we turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down, this the time we move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring. This is the time for the No Gimmicks, know we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State divine. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, No Gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, it's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state is mine, the state design when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No Gimmicks.
Yo, what is up? Welcome back to episode 60 of the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. We got a good show planned out for you guys tonight. I know you've seen it. We got to talk about it. The elephant is in the room. We will address it. Before we do that, let's jump into the sponsor. Shout out to Khan's Custom Creations. Go to Khan's Custom Creations by looking on Facebook and IG. She makes quality custom items that won't break your bank. Also, if you're listening to the sound of our voices, join us on the DFPN, patreon.com/thatfelonpodcast, and also subscribe to the Bandcamp, thatfelon.bandcamp.com. My co-host, D, the Chosen One, is with me tonight. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. How about yourself?
I am doing wonderful. We have a good show. Before we address the elephant in the room, I wanna bring up something that happened also before we go down this road, because this will be the show pretty much. Dave Filoni received a promotion recently. He is going to be the head of creative over at Lucasfilm for Disney Plus, working on their stuff. How do you feel about it?
I actually think it's a pretty good move. I think that Dave Filoni basically was the apprentice of George Lucas. So if anybody out there is going to get as close to George's vision of what Star Wars is, it's going to be Dave Filoni. And I know some people out there like Filoni, some people don't like him. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this is for the betterment of Star Wars, the betterment for Lucasfilm. And the other move would be to get Kathleen Kennedy out of there. That would be the next big move. And hopefully it happens. But just for the fact that Dave Filoni is now in charge of all creative projects moving forward for Star Wars, I think this is great because you're going to see a lot more continuity with a lot of different shows. He's going to put this whole thing together, because the thing that people don't get about Filoni is that Filoni has stated that that they will bring him in the middle or the tail end of a project that is already started. Now Filoni will be at the beginning. So that includes the movies. He'll be at the beginning of the movies to make sure that everything is right. And I think if people can say what they want, but I'm going to tell you one thing that Dave Filoni has done, which is, I think, gets overlooked, is this guy has really told the redemption story that is Anakin Skywalker. What he has done with Anakin Skywalker and Hayden Christensen coming back in the fold here, I think Hayden actually, it was great to see Hayden back in Obi-Wan Kenobi, but to see Hayden come back and really, we didn't really see that much of Anakin Skywalker in Obi-Wan Kenobi show. It was all about Vader. But to see him come back and to be Anakin Skywalker in Ahsoka, to do that Shadow Warrior episode, which I thought episode 5 Shadow Warrior was the best episode bar none of Ahsoka, the live action Clone Wars. Which is
you could have went to the movies for that.
You could have, and that's I'm glad you bring that up. It would have been so interesting if instead of doing these shows, it would have just been a movie for Disney Plus, a Disney Plus movie, Ahsoka, or a Disney Plus movie, Obi-Wan Kenobi, instead of stretching it out, just one movie. You know what I mean? But other than that, dude, I think it's going to be very telling. And then we have this was posted in the United States Department of Nerds group on Facebook. Don't forget their podcast too, part of DFPN.
Shout out.
Posted that they're going to be it's going to be a big year, 2024 for Star Wars. You got Tales of the Jedi season 2 coming. Love that love that. We're just watching that season 1 every day. You
Yep.
got Andor season 2 is coming. You got the Acolyte show that's coming. You got the Skeleton Crew. You got the final season of the Bad Batch. Um, also, we're going to probably end up seeing Ahsoka season 2 if they're not just going to go full with the movie. So it's a lot of big things happening for Star Wars. And I honestly think sky's the limit. I really do. I think Filoni being in charge here is going to be a lot of good things, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do at Lucasfilm.
I'm gonna agree with you there. He did some wonderful things storytelling wise for the Star Wars universe during his run so far. So I am kind of excited to see him as the number 2 guy. Like you, I would like to see Kathleen Kennedy gone. I wish he would be the number 1, but that's one less hurdle that he has to jump through to tell the story. So I'm very excited for him to be the head of creative. Like you with the Ahsoka series, he really changed my mind with the stuff that he was able to do and the story he was able to tell with Ahsoka, and tie in that Hayden Christensen appearance and tell that story between her and Anakin, because that is a very big part of the Star Wars universe as a whole. And I would like to see them go down the path of telling like some of those mainline character stories
Right.
and get more of those stories out, because I think those are important to tell, and you can branch off from there. But as long as that story stays down the main line, I think he's the guy to do it. I think that being tapped by Lucas himself is very big. And I look forward to see what he has coming down the pipeline. So yeah, 2024 is going to be a very big year for them, a very telling year for them, and hopefully this will lead to him being the actual head of Lucasfilm and
Yeah,
get
because
Kathleen Kennedy out of there.
it's funny because George Lucas also picked Kathleen Kennedy
Exactly.
to lead, but in saying that, I think he thought he could trust Kathleen,
Right.
and it found out that he couldn't. And I also just want to say too, when it comes down to it, because Dave Filoni actually did an interview where he was kind of marking out himself. He says to see, Hayden on there with young Ahsoka, and to see basically the live action Clone Wars come to life.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, that was. I mean, he's up here geeking out about it because, like, they created this character. Him and George Lucas created this Ahsoka character back in 2005. So it was basically after the Revenge of the Sith movie, and then they bring this character, and it was said that Hayden actually watched the Clone Wars to actually get to see the relationship between Ahsoka and Anakin, and he pulled it off perfectly,
flawlessly.
And I was just saying the other day, I was like, what would be cool is if, and it can't happen because she wasn't a Jedi, she wasn't a Force Ghost, but it would have been so cool if we actually could see kind of like a reunion on the screen with Anakin and Padme.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, like that
That'd
would
be
be
awesome.
that'd be kind of cool. Just like I want to see a reunion of sorts if they go down. And we'll get to CM Punk, but I gotta say this. So one of the things that I would do if I was working creative, right? And I know it's kind of like fan servicey, but I think people would get a kick out of this. Is I would love to see when they do the movie, and you have the Thrawn with basically the reformed Empire, and Luke Skywalker is out there, and Leia is out there. They're all alive in the timeline. I would love to have Luke Skywalker and Leia wondering, like, oh, are we going to overcome this? And Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker appears to them as a Force Ghost to give them some kind of
advice
and all that stuff, and to see Obi-Wan as a Force Ghost and Yoda as a Force Ghost talk to them to give them strength and all that. I think that would be so cool to see Hayden and Mark Hamill on the same screen at the same time. Unfortunately, Carrie Fisher's no longer with us, but
right,
we could do something with that.
Right. That'd
cool.
be pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
It would be cool. It would be. So yeah, that you got enough wiggle room to make that happen too.
Oh yeah. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I think this is going to be it's a great move for Star Wars. Now, hopefully this will reinvigorate the fan base and get people back into Star Wars. There's a lot of stories to be told.
Ahsoka did a very good job of pulling people back in. I give him that, especially with what they were able to do with Anakin. Just the prospect of knowing like Anakin was coming. The show itself was like, if we don't get Anakin Skywalker, this shit sucks. And they were
Yeah.
able to pull it off. So,
And there's there's so many other stories to tell too. I'm going to cut you off,
right.
but there's so many other stories I can tell. Like people have been wanting and Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, and they're like,
Right.
"What do we go with this?" There's lots of listen. Vader did a lot more stuff after his initial when he gave up on Obi-Wan after Palpatine punked him. He gave up on Obi-Wan. Vader was out there doing a lot of shit. And you
Yeah,
could
he
tell
was.
those stories. You could tell Obi-Wan and his stories of him still being on Tatooine and basically still watching over Luke Skywalker. And you see Obi-Wan get, we want to see Obi-Wan get to the Alec Guinness um,
Right.
age. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's lots of stories to be told there. And I think with Filoni, if Filoni says, okay, listen, we're going to go into this and we're going to go, we're going to go into this whole situation with Obi-Wan and Vader and what's leading to a new hope. But also I want to say this too. So with Andor season 2, we already know where Andor season 2 is going. It's going into Rogue One. That's where
Yep.
this story is going. So
Yep.
I don't think that we have seen the last of Hayden Christensen in Star Wars. I mean, there's speculation that he was done. I don't think so.
No, I think
we're
it's
gonna see
positive we're getting
because
there.
people were bringing up like, oh, he's getting a lot older now. I'm like, okay, when Sebastian Shaw was unmasked in Return of the Jedi, he was an older guy. Vader was old when he was killed, so you know Hayden's like 42 now or something like that. So
Yeah.
he can still pull it off, and he also can do it as Vader. Don't forget that.
Yes.
Hayden is Vader and Anakin Skywalker. So
Yep.
there's still lots to be done. There's lots of money to be made, and I think Dave Filoni knows this.
I would agree with you. He has to know this.
Absolutely.
If we're thinking about it, he's probably thought about it and put it to paper. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
so yeah, man. But let's get into the meat and potatoes, man.
Oh, yeah.
We had some big shit happen over the weekend.
Yep.
And then Monday night, we had some other stuff happen. But CM Ponk finally made his presence known. He is back home in the WWF, not WWF, WWE. He is back where Triple H says he belongs. And he shook up the wrestling world once again. One thing about him, man, he can get people talking. So let's start with Chicago.
Yeah.
Show looks like it's going off the air. Well done, by the way. Well done. Show looks like it's going to go off the air. Looks like we're not going to get CM Punk. And then all of a sudden, the music hits. Cult of Personality comes on. He walks out. Crowd goes apeshit. That is a moment. It's a moment. I don't want to say this is bigger than his return, but it's up there. It's up there.
So the telltale signs of CM Punk returning was something that actually happened the day before, and it was Living Color released a remastered edition of Cult of Personality.
Yep.
And speculation was already running wild. Oh, that must be the song Punk's going to use when he returns, right? That's the song Punk is using. He's using the remastered version of Cult of Personality. So that's the first tell. The other one was how they looked like they were going off the air. They've done this before. They did this with DIY when DIY broke up.
Yep.
And Ciampa attacked Gargano on the stage, and they looked like they were going off the air. So WWE is known to do that. That's classic. So I found out about the return. I was not watching Survivor Series, but I found out about the return by being a part of the No Gimmicks fan group on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Jessica was posting about Survivor Series, and I was reading the comments, and Jeff, says, I liked everything except the Punk entrance. And I'm like, oh, so he came back. So then I went to Survivor Series, and Peacock still had it, whatever, and because it just ended. So they're like, oh, there's videos not available right now. I rewound it and went all the way back, to the end of the cage match, the War Games, and then I saw Punk come out, and I'm like, okay, they finally pulled the trigger, which we have been saying here on No Gimmicks.
Yep.
If you don't do it in Chicago at Survivor Series, it's not going to happen.
It's not
They
going to
pulled the
happen.
trigger. And the fact that Triple H said the line, "This is where he belongs anyway."
Yep.
This is where he belongs. Shows you that this is a WWE guy. This is our guy. That's an endorsement from
Oh yeah,
Triple
by
H.
all means.
That's a big endorsement. This is where he belongs. Like, we wanted him anyways, and kind of like we regret that this shit happened the way it did. 10 years goes by. I'm a different person. He's a different person. If you haven't changed in 10 years, then you messed up. And
that was something big that he actually said in that press conference.
Yeah,
that was big.
So basically, what it comes down to me is that those at WWE did not believe all the stories that they were hearing over at AEW, because had they believed it, then they would not have dealt with CM Punk. That's the bottom line. They would not have even risked doing business with CM Punk if they believed that this is what it was.
Right.
So I think a lot of it was over exaggerated. I think a lot of it was people trying to provoke CM Punk. I think a lot of it was honestly jealousy. That's what I think.
I'm not going to speculate on that, especially because he's not there anymore. But I will say for WWE to do business with him speaks volumes. It's a loud statement that they would even go down that road, considering what Punk went through at AEW.
Considering how CM Punk left WWE.
Exactly.
And the Colt Cabana podcast and everything that he said. So for the fact that he was able to come back and be motivated, CM Punk looked really good. CM Punk looked better than when he did his AEW debut.
Yeah, he did. That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, God damn, he went straight to the gym.
He
like they fired him and he went straight to the gym. Like, okay.
Yeah, he beefed up. And Punk was saying the telltale signs, my schedule's going to be changing in a couple of months. He had been saying this, but he had been not revealing it. And they had been talking. And a lot of it, like Triple H said, was speculation until it wasn't. And they got down to doing business.
Right.
So I think that, Triple H is a guy who was able to bridge the gap between Vince and Bruno. He did it with Vince and Warrior. He did it with now with Punk. Triple H is just that guy.
Goldberg, he did it with Goldberg.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the man is phenomenal at rebuilding relationships. He really is.
Yeah, because he basically what he says is, if the WWE universe wants it,
he'll make it happen.
We're gonna make it.
You got to give him his props on that, because for all the stuff that he's been able to do, he's done it for the WWE universe. Like, I got to give him props for that shit, man. Like,
he is a guy. I will say this about Triple H. He is a guy, I think, that probably in his own personal life changed a lot. Because you heard the stories about how he used to be, was just basically a prick. And
well, he used to run with Shawn Michaels, bro.
Oh yeah, but being a prick and an asshole, and he would go out of his way to avoid fans, and just wasn't really that personable of a guy. But I think hearing the story of how he almost died, and
that will change you.
That changed him. That changed him. So he's a much more, I will say, softer guy now. You know what I mean? That's kind of, maybe because I don't know Paul Levesque. I've never met him, but
I would say I don't think it's softer. It's just his outlook might have changed. It's like,
I would say wall. I would say the wall is down.
Yeah, like, fuck it. Why hold a grudge? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's his defenses are down now, because your spot is solidified, man.
Yeah.
You're the guy. You don't have to play politics anymore.
Right.
You're the guy. He played politics for so long.
Right.
He's a master because he was active. But now we have a whole different generation of people.
Yeah, I'm not getting there, and I'm not getting in the ring anymore. I'm behind the scenes. I don't have to be cutthroat. I can let you shine. Which, this deal in itself, the fact that he was able to pull this shit off with CM Punk, and the heat they had with each other.
Right.
Like, to the point the shit played out on TV.
Yes.
Like, they had real heat with each other. For him to put that aside and get this deal done and bring CM Punk back, it's mind blowing in a way that he's the guy that did that shit.
Well, it's no different than him, basically, him and Scott Steiner making up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, and another thing too, like I don't really hear Bret Hart saying that much anymore about Triple H. He used to have a huge grudge. They don't really
Yeah.
say
Because
anything
he was
about.
one of the ones in the screw job.
Yeah, I think he thought that. I think I think he thought Hunter was mastermind of
Yeah.
that shit. I think
Yeah.
that's what he thought. But look, that was '97. We're in 2023.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Long time
I
ago.
think it's the upswing now. I also think too with CM Punk is that he did show up when he returned to AEW. He showed up in Chicago when WWE was there. He was asked to leave, and that call was made by Vince McMahon for him to leave. But he was able, the brief time he was there, he was able to go talk to the Miz, quit air with the Miz, and he was able to talk to Hunter for a few minutes. And I think that's what Hunter said. Okay, this guy has changed.
He's changed. Yep.
Let's sit back and look at what's going on here.
I think they both needed to see that each other had changed. I think that was the meeting.
And I think that in all intents and purposes, and I strongly believe this, I think Punk's whole reason for coming back to wrestling to begin with was to show WWE that he can still do it. And I think that's what it was. I
believe so.
I think the entire time, I think he wanted to be back in WWE. He knew someday that's where you want to be. That's where he wanted to go.
That's
business.
where the money is.
He wants business. Well, the money is that you can make money in AEW too, but
you can, but the stage is bigger.
It's like this. WCW beat WB for 83 weeks in a row. The NWO was the highest angle, but they were never bigger than WWF. WWF was always the big company. So that's kind of what AEW is right now to me. AEW, you can go on there, you can make money, but you'll get the bigger exposure in WWE. That's how it goes. So I think initially Punk was motivated to be at AEW. Then his motivation went sour because I think he saw what he was doing with. And you look at WWE,
I believe that too.
You look at WWE and Seth Rollins out there acting the way he was. I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, this is such good shit because do you really honestly think that this guy is going to be out there acting like that and nobody knows about it? Yes, they know about it. Everybody in that damn match probably knew that CM Punk was going to come out there. That's why nobody was
leaving. So according to Triple H, very few people, nobody in that ring at that time knew that he was going to show up. Michael Cole knew he was going to show up, and maybe who was on commentary with him?
Miss Corey Graves.
I think those two knew, but according to Triple H, nobody in the ring knew that he was going to show up. Which I'm inclined not to believe that because the way Seth Rollins was acting. I think at least Seth knew.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
And maybe Cody too, because
you're not going to tell. You're not.
Everybody was too calm, bro. Like they were all too calm.
And nobody was leaving, even the heels.
Right.
Nobody was leaving. So why are you sitting there? First of all, why is the cameraman getting in position at the ramp? Because something's about to happen.
Yeah.
The cameraman was standing there waiting for something. Nobody was leaving. This was all set up the way it was because they wanted to put the realness into it. Everything on that damn show is scripted. Nothing. It's all a story they're being told. Seth Rollins has a beef with Punk. What's going to be the match? Seth Rollins is like, shit, we're going to do some serious business here because the internet already thinks that we don't like each other.
Yeah.
So let's push that fucking narrative. It's
like
simple.
The money, as soon as he walked out, the dollar signs went up exponentially.
And now I'm making the prediction here that I believe night 1 or night 2, CM Punk is main event WrestleMania.
So check this out. As soon as he walked out, you know where my head went? There's Darth Maul.
Yeah.
There's Darth Maul. He's here. I'm willing to bet you will probably see a program with Randy Orton and CM Punk?
I'm willing to bet you're going to see a program with Roman Reigns and CM Punk in which Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns and rejoins CM Punk.
That's my mind went there too.
That's the only way you're going to turn Roman Reigns babyface and turn to CM Punk.
See, now you have options. You have
got
options.
a lot of options.
You have options.
He
now.
mentioned it on Monday. A wise man once told him. Who do you think he was talking about?
Yeah, I thought he was talking about Vince. Honestly,
oh, he's talking about Paul Heyman. No, a wise man. That's what they call Paul Heyman, the wise man.
They call him the wise man. Yes, they do. Yeah, they have options.
And
This may
Cody turn heel
screw
at some point too.
Yeah, this may screw Cody, but this also may turn Cody heel.
Yes, and you can see Cody turn heel on Punk.
Yeah,
this is gonna happen. They're gonna be somebody's turning.
Somebody's turning.
And if
because you have way too much babyface power right now. Way too much.
Right now, you're leading towards Randy Orton feuding with Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because they set that up Monday.
Yep. And him and Jay are at peace now. They're cool. He says, "Long
so
as
here's sorry to cut you off. Here's where my brain went. So Monday, Randy Orton cuts this promo, and I know we talked about the Star Wars narrative and finishing the story. I know we talked about that. My brain went, okay, maybe Cody, because Cody, they haven't mentioned the bloodline in a while. Maybe Cody and Randy go after the bloodline, right? Maybe Paul Heyman gets in Cody's ear and we get a turn that way. Also, we still have the Seth Punk thing to deal with. I don't know if they can drag that out to WrestleMania, though. That's my only issue. Maybe they don't mess around with each other until Rumble time, and then they build that up to WrestleMania. But my brain tells me that Randy Orton is going to drag Cody into the bloodline feud, and then Cody's going to turn.
See, the only problem with that narrative is this. So if they were going to do that, you would have to have an event before the Royal Rumble, which they don't have any for the rest of the year. There are no PLEs.
Yeah, that's true too.
So that would have been.
When's the Elimination Chamber?
February.
Okay.
So you don't. We don't have that right now. You could do Roman. See, here's the problem with this, right? So let's take CM Punk out the equation.
Yeah.
You have Cody and Roman, which, okay, let's finish the story. So if you finish the story with Cody and Roman, you got to find Randy Orton something to do for WrestleMania.
This is true.
Now you have CM Punk back in the fold. So now what do? Because you're not going to do Punk versus Orton. That doesn't make any sense. Seth Rollins and CM Punk makes
sense. More sense, yes.
Right. But then you can have Randy Orton and Cody in the Royal Rumble match.
Or you can have Randy turn on Jay.
But see, I don't see that happening because they're gonna start pushing the Jay versus Jimmy match for WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's true too.
You could do Roman versus
Punk
Randy.
Fucked up a lot of shit, bro. God.
Well, they both came at the same time. Randy.
That's but Randy makes a lot more sense in the equation than Punk does. But
Randy makes a lot more sense. Randy makes more sense in the Roman Reigns scenario.
Yeah,
but
he
for
does.
Seth Rollins, which is a whole different title, CM Punk makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Was acting. So
right.
Let's say WrestleMania Night 1, CM Punk headlines versus Seth Rollins. Then you also have on the same show Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. But then you say, okay, what does Solo do? Solo versus Randy Orton.
Is that a strong match though?
It can be because Solo just beat John Cena. Now Randy Orton used to be the Legend Killer. Now Solo wants to kill
like
the
that.
legend of Randy Orton. So you put Randy Orton and Solo at WrestleMania Night 2.
You sold me.
WrestleMania Night 2 main event, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns.
You sold me. That makes sense. That makes sense. And then you can have Cody versus Roman.
Cody versus Roman, WrestleMania main event. Cody, either Cody finishes the story or he doesn't finish the story. But either way it goes, Cody's turning heel. By the summer, Cody is going to be a heel by the summer.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
And we're
I don't see him leaving WrestleMania. I don't see him leaving WrestleMania babyface. I don't.
No, I think what's going to end up happening is that you're going to see the turn. And then you're going to see him be confronted by Randy Orton. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like this, what are you doing? And Cody turns on him. The apprentice turns on the master. Leading into SummerSlam.
He's got the belt.
He's at the belt. Now managed by the Wise Man. Versus Randy Orton.
I would agree with that.
He basically just dumped Roman Reigns. Well, why is he dumping? Because I'm tired of Roman Reigns. That's the Wise Man. I'm sick of Roman Reigns. I'm the one helping him.
You have so many reasons to leave Roman Reigns.
And then on top of that, check this out. Check this scenario out that I'm cooking up here. So you ask yourself, well, where does Solo fit into this? Solo is going to turn and side with Cody. Because Solo is loyal to the Wise Man, not to Roman Reigns.
Yep.
So you don't have the bloodline anymore. Basically, you have the Empire. And basically, who's Palpatine? Palpatine's Paul Heyman, pulling off his strings. Yes. Paul Heyman wants a new apprentice.
Got him.
Tired of Roman Reigns. I'm tired of Roman. I want a new apprentice. Roman Reigns right now is basically Count Dooku.
Yep.
So I want a new, that's Tyrannus. I want a new apprentice. Who I got my eye on? I got my eye on Cody Rhodes, the chosen one. The son of a plumber.
Makes sense. So makes a hell of a lot of sense if you ask me.
Yeah. So hey, that's what we do here at No Gimmicks. We put angles out there that we're never going to get paid for.
But if it happens, y'all owe us.
Exactly.
Seriously.
If it happens, just contact us and we'll be happy to be on the creative team.
But yeah, that shit makes a lot of sense, man. Like the fact that Punk is now in WWE, the options. And it's weird too, because in AEW, he had all these dream matches that he never did. But in WWE, he has all these dream matches
that are actually going to happen.
They're going to happen. It's like, what?
I mean, Roman Reigns said the same thing. He says, listen, I might not be a fan of CM Punk personally, but business-wise, if we can do business and that's what the fans want and we can do a good story, I'm down with it.
I'm down for it.
Because you know why? Roman Reigns is business. He's a businessman. WWE is full of businessmen. People out there saying, oh, Seth Rollins said this. Rollins is playing you people. Don't you get it?
Yes, he is.
He's playing you. All this
They're
stuff
actually really good friends.
All this stuff that he's saying, he's playing the angle. He's saying stuff at live events because they're going to use all this stuff and they're going to play it. That's why he said it. Punk says, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
Best part of that promo.
So, and guess where he got that from? That was a Scott Hall quote. And I'm going to tell you where it came from. Scott Hall said in an interview, he says, you went to Chief Jay Strongbow once said it was. He says, in this business, you can make friends or you can make money. And Scott says, you know what? I've already got some friends. I like the money. So Punk says, I'm not here to make friends.
I'm here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
Right.
Not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all.
Nope.
That was a great promo. Speaking of which, that promo has actually split a lot of people too, because a lot of people are like, this is what he said in AEW. I think this is different.
No,
I think this promo
But this promo, see, this is what people thought. I mean, cut you off, but this is what people thought. People thought that Punk was going to come out there and blister AEW.
Exactly.
And he didn't do that. And I'm glad he didn't do it because it would have been a situation where people were like, oh, another AEW guy coming over to WWE and talking shit about WWE or talking shit about AEW.
It was a different take. And that for me, that promo was different than what he did in AEW. Yeah, there were kind of the same sentiments and words, but to me, what I saw out of Punk in that promo was him acknowledging that he actually left WWE on bad terms. He acknowledged it. He's ready to move on. And then he set up shit.
Right.
He set up business for himself, right? Saying that there's people in the company that's saying they're the best in the world. Well, he's here to challenge that.
Right.
Like he is the ultimate monkey wrench in everybody's plans because let's be honest, people may have gotten comfortable and this was the wake-up call that they needed.
Right.
People are going to be on their A game. And also, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. Let's do business.
And then on top of that, you got WWE is just I can't deny it. WWE is just doing so much good shit right now. You got Nakamura attacking Cody.
Loved it.
You got You got Drew McIntyre out there attacking Seth Rollins. Drew
busting
McIntyre
himself open the hard way.
Hard way bust open. You got Drew McIntyre basically just a new Drew McIntyre heel.
Yep.
Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
You got Jay Uso out there doing his thing. One of the top babyfaces they got. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And look at where Jay was last year. Look at where he is, this year at this time. Last year he was tag teaming and all that. This year he's doing his thing.
On his own.
Yep. Got a world title match on Raw next week.
Yeah.
So
that shot that they did at Survivor Series when he was on the cage, I was like, that shit is crazy. Because he got on top of the cage and he was doing I was like, oh, that shit is crazy.
Right.
People love Jey Uso.
No, they do. And it's funny because he did an autograph signing a few weeks ago and he thought that nobody was going to show up.
Yeah.
He actually thought nobody was going to show up. And he says, man, he's like, I really love y'all, man. Y'all actually came out for me. Because this is the first one he did without his brother.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he thought nobody was going to show up.
Man, dude,
they're going to show up. They're going to show up.
You got it.
Yeah. They're going to show up for you, and they're still going to show up for your brother.
Yeah.
People still like your brother.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's funny, I saw him on a house show, right? And they Jay was going to the back and Jimmy was coming out. And they all mad dogging each other and shit. I'm like,
y'all want to laugh.
Yeah, y'all
y'all want to laugh. Like, can you believe this shit?
They showed a picture on Thanksgiving of with Jay and Rikishi at Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm like, where's Solo and Jimmy? You know they there somewhere.
You know they there.
Yep.
You know they there.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Good shit.
And Triple H actually was voted by the Wrestling Observer newsletter.
Oh, I saw that.
I posted that. He was actually voted Booker and Promoter of the Year.
I saw that.
And people lost their shit. So how you can deny it? The Wrestling Observer readers voted that.
I mean, but look at the year that he's actually had.
Right.
Look at the year that he's had. He's put out some bangers, man. I don't know how much of this year he actually controlled, but let's just say he was here since January. He's put out some bangers, like starting with Royal Rumble. If he was in charge at Royal Rumble, we got the turn of Sami Zayn. Then we got Sami Zayn versus Roman, right? Those were arguably that's two of the best matches in the first quarter of that company. Then you set up SummerSlam. Then you set up Survivor Series. Bro, he knocked a lot of shit out of the park. And by the way, he brought back the hottest free agent in the fucking game.
And by the way, you got to give credit to some other people that's involved in this process as well. Got to give
Oh,
credit.
most definitely.
You got to give credit to Bruce Pritchard, who's a part of this process. You got to give credit to Michael Hayes, who's back there, part of this process. You got to give credit to fucking Michael Cole. All these different people that are doing these things that are making this work. It's a whole different. Like even the commentary is different now. The commentary is fresher now than what it had been previously. So there's a big change there. I just think that there's not a lot of people walking around on eggshells anymore at WWE. I think they're a lot more calm now. It's actually more of
You're right.
a family kind
yeah.
of environment now, and I think
there's a certain sense of freedom.
Exactly.
And you can see it in the product. Even by the way, Michael Cole does his commentary now. He's a lot more free. Corey Graves is stepping it up. Like I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. Now in saying this, I'm not going to just completely bury AEW because AEW's doing a lot of good shit too. AEW's got listen in the entire AEW roster. Swerve Strickland is my favorite, along with Prince Nana.
Hands
Prince Nana
down
has made himself a star. You think WWE's not paying attention to a Prince Nana and a Swerve Strickland?
You know what? And so tonight on funny you mentioned that. On tonight's show, Swerve Strickland and Jay White, they're in the main event. I left to come do this show, but I'm going to go back and watch it. Yeah. The reason I didn't watch it is because the last match that I saw before I left California was Swerve the Realist versus Jay White in New Japan.
Right.
And that's when Swerve, he debuted for New Japan Strong, and eventually right after that he went to AEW.
Yeah.
But the Swerve that I saw that night is the Swerve that I'm seeing now. But he was way more pissed off, and he looked like he had a chip on his shoulder. I was like, this motherfucker's about to do some crazy shit, bro. Like, I was right. He is out to prove that WWE made a massive mistake by letting him go. And I'm thinking Triple H is seeing this, and he's agreeing with Swerve. We made a massive mistake letting this guy go. I need to get him back.
But if you get him back, Prince Nana has to
part
go
of
that.
Yeah,
he's part of that. He's part of the deal. Yep. Because this guy, it's called the Nana, the dance. Everybody does it. Shit, Tony Schiavone is a fan of a dance. Eric Bischoff is a fan of a dance. You know what I mean? So the guy has pretty much just made himself a star. He got a new contract and all that. I honestly am making a prediction here. I think Swerve will probably be the first Black AEW World Champion.
I'm agreeing.
And I thought it would have been Powerhouse Hobbs. I don't think it's going to be Hobbs anymore. I think it's going to be Swerve.
Yeah, I agree.
Not taking it, not knocking Powerhouse, but I think it's going to be Swerve. I think Swerve has a lot more upswing right now.
Yeah,
so I think it's going to be Swerve.
The dude is just, and you could tell he's a student of the game. What changed my whole perspective on Swerve wasn't even this death match, because it was there before then.
Right.
But just the fact that he actually had the sense enough to bulk up.
Yeah.
And work on his body. That spoke volumes, because there's a different Swerve than what it was a year ago.
Right.
The guy's just operating on a totally different level. And then the program with Hangman turned everybody around. And then you have the death match. Well, not only can this guy work technical, he can work high fly, he can be strategic, he's psychological, and he's fucking brutal.
And the thing about it, for Hangman to put him over twice.
Yeah.
That shows you something. He put him over twice. And we give a lot of credit to Swerve, but Hangman was in that match too.
Yeah.
Takes two to tango.
Yep.
And Hangman is a former world champion.
Yep.
Now, what I'd love to see with Heyman and Adam Page moving forward is I'd love to see the program that we didn't get the chance to see. Heyman versus Kenny Omega. And I want
Yeah.
Heyman to be the heel.
Yeah.
There was a lot of intrigue a couple years ago when they were tag team champions and they wrestled the Young Bucks. What was Heyman going to do? Because it looked like at one point, I forgot what event it was, but it looked like he was about to do a buckshot lariat. And people thought that was what was going to happen. So I think it's time for Heyman to do a turn, a different attitude is what needs to happen.
I agree.
And I love to see him feud with Omega.
I
And
agree.
the biggest babyface, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but the biggest babyface in AEW is crazy. It is actually MJF. Isn't
That's
that crazy?
wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Because I was like, I don't know. I was like, dude, this guy is setting us up. He's setting us up for some serious. He's about to be some serious heel shit going on, and he's maintained it. And I'm
But
like,
he's not, and it's like he's not really changed anything.
no,
He's not. See, the thing about MJF that I think is very interesting as far as his character development goes is that he's not insulting your intelligence.
no, he's letting you know.
He says, "I am the devil."
Yeah, I'm letting you
He's not-
know.
I'm letting you know.
I know. Yeah,
I'm the devil,
yeah,
but I'm your devil. Which is I like that because it's basically it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin in a sense.
yeah.
Austin wasn't he was a babyface, but he never turned babyface.
Right.
You just started seeing him wrestle all the heels.
Right.
Same thing with MJF. And MJF is that star. And I hope they don't change that. Because the match that I want to see with MJF, it ain't got nothing to do with Adam Cole. It's Christian Cage. Because
Man, listen.
Christian is a top heel in this business.
Listen. This guy is I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I have Christian in my top 3 of heels ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
The work this man has been doing is phenomenal.
Can't touch him.
Phenomenal. He went out there tonight and he cut some shit. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker he's amazing. He had Edge. He's like, man, let's do this for your mom. I was like, yo. He's like, man, when your mom passed away, he's like, I just couldn't help but think that, we should be doing this for her. Lying the whole time. Like this dude he's operating on God tier right now.
He's an old school heel.
Yeah.
And I think he also is having something to prove.
Yep.
Is what's going on. And I think that he's doing a good job. I'm not really sold on Nick Wayne. Yeah, I'm not sold on that.
I know the Luchasaurus name change was by lawsuit, so he had to change his name. And I think just that in itself is throwing a wrench in that whole patriarchy thing that he's got going. But I do like that he took Nick Wayne under his wing. Because I do think Nick Wayne's a great wrestler, but I do think that psychology wise, if he's hanging around Christian, then yeah, he's gonna get it.
I just don't think he's ready for primetime TV.
He may not be, but I think they're doing a good job of keeping him exposed, but not too exposed to where you see him, but he's not really that active, right? So as long as he's around Christian, he's getting the heat and he's getting to learn.
See, and the thing too, and you mentioned the name change for Luchasaurus, which I don't have a problem with that.
I don't either.
I never liked the name Luchasaurus. I never liked it. I think Kill Switch is cool. Basically, it's Christian's old finisher, so it works for me. And I really would hope that at this point, that Luchasaurus, the former Luchasaurus Kill Switch, would actually start wrestling like a big man.
He actually has been. He
Okay.
has been. And
Yeah.
I like that. I like that from him.
Yeah.
Even before they changed his name. I like that he doesn't do the lucha shit anymore. He wrestles more like a traditional big man.
And that's what he needs to do. You need to really start wrestling. If that's what he's doing, that's great. Wrestle more like Taker. Or more
Yeah,
like
that's
more like
who he reminds me of, honestly.
Kane, Kane or
Yeah.
Sid Vicious or Kevin Nash. You beat a big man and you don't have to do all this other crazy shit because number one, it extends your career.
Right.
And you can do more stuff, and it just looks more impressive. You being a big dude, you go in there and you do some shit. So,
and that's exactly how he's right. Like he does remind me a lot of Taker, especially when he moves around. Because Taker was big and quick, and he reminds me of Taker because he's big, he's quick, he's agile, and he looks devastating. Honestly, I actually like the way he's wrestling now.
Well, that's good. I'm all for it, and I do believe that I don't know if it's going to be a letdown for people or not, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that the devil is going to be the returning Hollywood, as I call him, Hollywood Jack Perry.
I don't know, and the reason I'm saying I don't know is because they had a run in with the Devil crew tonight, and I didn't get vibes that it was Jack Perry. I hope it is, but I didn't get vibes that it was him.
So do you think I'm just speculating here, but so do you think the Adam Cole injury is a swerve?
Not anymore. I don't.
Anymore.
No, I don't.
I would hope it wouldn't be. I would hope it wouldn't be.
I would hope it would be too. And honestly, if it is, I hope that's the devil.
It would be because it's not MJF. MJF's not the devil.
No.
But it's somebody, So I don't know. It's just very interesting. Both companies are doing really good shit right now, and that's even better for wrestling. So let's comment here real quick on the NWA. So the NWA actually did debut on the CW app. They have some episodes there. Not sure how much longer they're going to actually be on the app, but they did debut on the app.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their biggest female stars, Camille, very attractive blonde, very good wrestler, was the women's champion there for over 800 days.
Yep.
She is officially leaving the company. She is not re-signing with the NWA, and I hope that she lands in either WWE or most likely she's going to land in AEW.
I would like to see her land in WWE. Honestly,
I'm agreeing with that.
I would like to see her. She's built for big time.
Yeah, she is. She has the look, and it's funny because Nick Aldis is there, and she was kind of Nick Aldis's valet there for a little while. So that would be kind of interesting to see them on TV together. And Nick Aldis eventually, I want to see this guy get in the fucking ring.
I thought they were going to go that way with Adam Pearce.
Yeah. And Scrap Iron Adam Pearce,
Yeah, I thought they were going to go that way. Looks like they're not, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I would love to see them do that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it works. I mean, it's just they're both companies just doing a lot of good shit, man.
They are. And then we got TNA on the horizon.
Yep.
So
TNA,
looks like the Hard to Kill is going to be the first pay-per-view
TNA show. Yep. First TNA under the TNA banner, which is good for the business.
That one's in Vegas at the Palms, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Which I might actually try to get out there because that's around my daughter's birthday. I may try before she leaves because she's leaving Vegas.
Oh, wow.
So try to get out there before she gets out of town.
Right.
So, but yeah, man. All right, man. Final thoughts. What you got?
Nothing, man. Just basically we're gonna just sit back and watch everything. Just kind of watch what happens with CM Punk and WWE. See how this situation unfolds. See what's going on with Star Wars. It's a lot of interesting entertainment going on right now, and we'll see what happens in 2024.
Most definitely, it's a good outlook.
Yeah.
It's a good outlook with a lot of possibilities. So I'm very much looking forward to see where they go and where they land. It's going to be a really interesting build to WrestleMania 40.
Oh yeah,
Really interesting.
I wasn't looking forward to WrestleMania 40, to be honest.
Me
with you.
neither.
Now I'm kind of looking forward. Now
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Rumble.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on.
Cody already declared, and I know that's going to be a
and I was
one.
thinking something else too, another story that could be told. So, if in fact Cody is the last person at the Rumble, is he really the last one, or is it Randy Orton? And what if they do where both of these two dudes are the last ones and they both go out?
So it's funny you bring that up. So earlier today on Busted Open, Bully Ray presented a scenario. He said, what if the last three people in this match were Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and CM Punk? How does that play out?
How does that play out? It wouldn't play out.
You couldn't have those three be the last three?
No, that would be overkill to do that. It wouldn't play out. So the scenario honestly would be, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Master and Apprentice. It would have to come down to Cody and Randy. And Randy, which would then lead to Randy, Cody, Roman, WrestleMania. If you don't do Randy and Solo, which I think the upswing is Randy and Solo, personally.
I would agree with you there. You sold me on that one. I wasn't even thinking like that, but you sold me on that one.
And it just makes perfect sense, because if you're building Solo into a monster and build him into a star, then you put him in there with Randy Orton.
Right.
And Randy Orton.
Now you have more incentive.
Right.
Going
and Randy and at this point, Randy can make people at this point. Randy doesn't have anything to lose at this point.
Right.
You know, the thing about it was that, and people, you know, when you listen to No Gimmicks podcast, especially when you listen to me talk, you can get a history lesson. You know, back in the day, WCW, Hogan was always wondering, how do Hall and Nash stay over even when they lose? It's because we're the hottest thing in the business. It doesn't matter if we lose or not. You know what I'm saying? Because we can go out there and lose and then come back and say we didn't lose. That's just how it goes. That's why Hogan was like, okay, I'll put Piper over at Starrcade 96 in Nashville, because it's not going to hurt me, because I'm just going to go out there and deny it. And it worked. And that's when Scott was like, Hogan was so happy because he was doing a job, you know, because, you know, yeah. So even saying that, even if Randy lost to Solo at Mania, or if Solo loses to Randy at Mania, doesn't matter. Both guys look good. Because Solo, you got in the ring, you hung with Randy Orton. So
I agree with that.
That's what I think is going to end up happening. So we'll see. But I think that is where they're going to go.
Yeah, and it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a very, very interesting time.
Oh yeah,
very interesting. Damn, no wonder those tickets were high. They had the shit planned out.
I don't believe that part, because it was touch and go there for a minute, you know, with Randy Orton. You didn't know. Didn't know. So, and Randy, this is very interesting. Then you have to also look at what they're doing with Gunther as well. You know, what?
Oh my God, you still got that.
You still got that. The Miz is a babyface again.
Yep.
You know, and people are actually behind the Miz.
Yep.
So you got a lot of different things on
Rumble's the next pay-per-view, right?
Correct. And then you got the push going on right now with Santos Escobar.
That may be an underdog right there.
Yep.
That really,
Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
Street Profits. You're probably going to bring back Brock Lesnar at some point.
Yep.
Got a lot of shit. Jay Cargill is going to eventually debut.
Looks like we're
Control going to turn on Bayley.
They're strong. Yep, they're strong. Looks like we're getting Becky and Charlotte back together, which I think is going to implode, and then they're going to have a match at some point.
I I think we're gonna see them come together actually with Bailey against Damage Control.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's where we're going. The
okay.
reunion of 3 of the Horsewomen against Damage Control. Because Damage Control is about to be a whole different faction now.
Yep.
Now that you got Asuka involved and Asuka and Io and Dakota and Kairi Sane, that's your Damage Control now.
What if this is leading back to a Sasha Banks return?
It could happen, but I don't know. But it very well could happen. Because I believe as well too. I'm just Mercedes. I think Mercedes is probably going to end up being in that Star Wars Dave Filoni movie.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, she was part of the Mandalorian show.
Yeah, most definitely.
Which I think she'll be a part of that too. Because I saw her. They have her. What's her name? Coda Reeves, I think that's her name.
Yeah,
something like that. They have her action figure. Star Wars. Yeah. So I don't know, man. We got a lot of possibilities of what's going to happen here.
A lot can play out. Yep. A lot can play out. I like it, man. What else you got?
That was pretty much it. Other than Tony Khan can't comment on CM Punk's return, and John Moxley said you don't want to know what I think, and Ryback apparently is not going to retire, even though he said he was going to retire.
You lied to us, Ryback.
Yep.
You're supposed to retire.
Yep.
Reneging on stuff.
Yeah, so I said AEW. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. You knew what you meant. If he returns tomorrow, then I'm gonna retire. He returned.
Right.
I've been to AEW. Man, get out of here with that shit.
And I think we'll close on this right here. And it was just basically told that Tammy Sitch, the former Sonny, was sentenced to 17 years in state prison for DUI manslaughter. And the judge was not very lenient on Miss Sitch. Basically threw the book at her. And you do stupid things, you win stupid prizes. Pretty much is what it is. So I got no sympathy for her at all. And that's basically because of just the type of person that I heard that she is, and just some of the shit that I saw online that she said about a certain group of people. And I'll leave it at that. So I have no sympathy for the bitch.
Me neither. So
enjoy your 17 years.
Get sober.
Yep.
And see us when you're sober. But
yep.
Yeah, man. December 9th, not to forget, December 9th, Mission Pro Wrestling, Silver Bells 3 is heading out back to San Antonio.
Yep.
I'll be coming down for that one. Shout out to everybody that is going to be performing on that night. Shout out to Izzy Moreno, man. I was following some shit that she did. She just got her blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So
oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So, and she incorporates a lot of that into her style too. So
another
shout out to her for
superstar.
Yep.
On the horizon. Her, Maya World, Missy Marks. A lot of them, man.
They got some bangers on this card already.
Yeah. They
got some bangers.
They're doing their shit. So, shout out to Mitch Pro Wrestling, shout out to Metroplex Wrestling, the Dog Pound Wrestling here in San Antonio. Star Wars Cosplay of San Antonio, Star Wars Association, San Antonio, 501st Legion of Garrison here in San Antonio, all that. Shout out to my man Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker and all the Skywalkers. Yeah. I'm a mark.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
I mean, look at me. I'm wearing an NWO jacket. I got the Galactic Empire behind me. I got fucking belts over there. It's just, I got Darth Vader's helmet back here. It happens, exactly.
It happens.
The cream of the crop.
Always rises to the top here.
Right. Right. But other than that, brother, I just want to let everybody out there know, help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. All right. Remember, keep your dogs indoors. It's getting cold, people.
Out here, yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? So let's respect them. Keep your dogs indoors and respect them, and they'll respect you in public,
if you will.
But other than that, I ain't got nothing else, brother. It is what it is. And a little blooper here, a little side note. So here's the thing that y'all don't know. We actually recorded a show last week.
We did.
We didn't use it because me and Blak here, we got into kind of an argument on the show. And we just thought that, we don't want to use that because we got into a big debate. I mean, we got into a fucking debate.
It was a spirited debate.
It was a spirited debate about Marvel, Star Wars, all this shit, right? It's like that Batwoman movie. You're never gonna hear it. You're never gonna see it.
Facts.
But other than that, continue to support the DFPN.
Yes.
Check us out on Patreon. Join up on Patreon. $3, people. $1, $2, $3, $3. Check us out for a month. If you don't like the content, tell us why. And we're always looking for feedback and improvement. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube as well. The DFPN official YouTube channel is where we post clips and we post different videos for different podcasts we have. We got the Patio with Kim. We got the USTN podcast. We got No Gimmicks Smoke Pit, the Salute podcast, Real Food. We got a lot of shit cracking. We got the Queens of Nerdom. Everybody doing their thing over on DFPN. So don't forget to support the DFPN, buy the merchandise, do the Patreon, leave us reviews, shows, give us that 5-star rating that we deserve because nobody is putting out content like the No Gimmicks podcast. The only
at all
No Gimmicks podcast that matters.
Exactly. Now I have nothing else to say. Until then, until next time, thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy what the fuck you want to enjoy, and y'all have a good night. Peace.
Hit the music.
Oh, whoops.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks.